Нормальное освещение.
Но камуфлаж, но не подчеркивающая красоту. Правильное освещение.
Очень даже хорошо снимают.
Honor, pleasure to welcome the participants in the Willem C.Vis International Commercial Arbitration Moot to Vindabona for the Moot. Vindabona, a city of great music, Philharmonic, Sinfonica, the Opera, Musikverein, this concert house, a former home of the Roman 10th Legion, whence comes its name, and of course, the home of the Willem C.Vis International Commercial Arbitration Moot. At 20 years, I said. You know, it's so easy to think back to 20 years and what it was like at that first moot, but now this isn't the time for nostalgia. Now, we're starting the week of the 20th moot. It's a new moot for most of you. And in any case, 20 years ago, for I suspect the majority of the audience right now, that if you had heard the term child labor, you probably thought it was your parents telling you to straighten up the mess you made. Well, a little different context for our problem this year. Our program tonight, for those of you who have been here, is going to be largely, though not completely, the same as in the past. There will be some welcome speeches, and I gather a few other events that are scheduled in. But the first of the welcome speeches from our host institution, here at the Juridicum, the Faculty of Law of the University of Virginia, I mean, what the heck? Professor August Reinisch from the University of Vienna.
Vienna in Virginia, isn't it? And I remember when I was studying at SAIS, Washington, I sometimes went across the river and was very close to Vienna. But this is a different Vienna. And I'm very happy to welcome such a large crowd. Actually, it's not quite the same as last year, because last year I could see some of you. This year, the lights, the spotlights are so intense that I can just hear a few of you. And a few is just a mild understatement, because while I was just coming here to this place, I saw literally dozens of people who usually would converge here to hear a concert. But instead of that, I hope part of the regular program will be the musical surprise, which to the habitués, those who are here every year, is not a surprise, but something we're always looking forward to. I have 2 minutes, maybe 3. I won't be much longer. All the best for all the teams. I hope that the Juridicum, my law school, is a venue which has become too small, I know, but still is a good place to host that many future arbitrators and advocates in the field. Best wishes for that competition. Thank you.
As many of you know, the Moot is organized by a Verein. You might not know what a Verein is, but it's a non-profit membership organization. In this Verein, there are 4 universities, among a couple of other institutions and some individual people. Vienna is one. Pace, where the Moot began 20 years ago, and another. Queen Mary, part of the University of London, the third. And the fourth is the University of Stockholm. And from the University of Stockholm tonight, representing the other universities in the Verein, Dr. Patricia Shaughnessy.
Is a task which I think that not all of us in this entire room could accomplish, to thank and pay homage to Eric Bergsten for what he has built up. But I will try to do it with a simple reference to a simple word, the word no. A word that I think can describe Eric Bergsten, because I think everyone who knows Eric, his family, his friends, his colleagues, and all of the students and coaches affected by him, know that the only time that Eric Bergsten ever utters the word no is when he is asked if he has had enough. And we are all pleased and benefit from that attitude. Eric has brought to the international trade and arbitration community, to the education community, to the legal community, a fantastic experience of never saying no, of always finding the possible and the new and the innovative solution. I don't think Eric could have imagined what he started 20 years ago. And I know from some casual conversations that I have enjoyed having with Eric.
There aren't very many of us who were here 20 years ago at the first Moot. There are, well, I know of 2 people in the room, there may be a few others, who were involved in that very first Moot. And one of them is the person who will speak now, and that's Dr. Werner Mavis. At the time he was the, I don't remember the exact title, I think president of the board of the Vienna International Arbitration Center. And we had known each other, he and I, not well, but we'd known each other during my time at Uncitral. And I had come to him with the idea that there was this Moot that we would like to do. And we thought we would like to do it in Vienna, and he wasn't sure what a Moot was. But he said, okay. He would help give support that first year. We needed a place for arguments. We need some other logistical help. He would help us out that first year. He did, and you see what has come from it. But anyway, so I invite Dr. Werner Mavis to speak.
As usual, I say it's a great honor and pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber and of its International Arbitral Center. As Eric said, we knew each other quite some time. He was at Uncitral and I was one of the Austrian delegates, and so we met relatively often. And then after Uncitral had moved from New York to Vienna, and Eric was the secretary of Uncitral, one thing, however, worries us. The child is now 5 years old and will have to go to school next year. But it is growing so fast that it might outgrow all available facilities. But I am sure that the father, Eric Bergsten, will cope with this problem as usual. The 5th Moot was in fact a small child as compared to this year's attendance, and I really admire Eric Bergsten even more, how he manages to supply the now giant, who has still not stopped to grow from one year to the other with fitting clothes for the next Moot.
Several different levels of rules that govern it. At the highest formal level, we have the New York Convention, a few other treaties, but the New York Convention on the recognition and enforcement of foreign arbitral awards. We have the national arbitration laws, many of them nowadays modeled on the UNCITRAL model law, which of course is the law governing in Danubia, the country where Vindobona in the Moot is located. And then we have the rules of the organization, getting closer and closer to the parties themselves. And for the last number of years, we have been using the rules of one of our sponsoring organizations as the rules for the arbitration in the Moot. And this year, as you of course all know, we've been using the rules of the Chinese European Arbitration Commission. So I invite Christine Haig and Thomas Wyman from CEAC to the podium.
Of the Chinese European Arbitration Center and the non-profit association behind it, the Chinese European Legal Association. We want to thank Eric and we want to thank the Verein that we are here and that you have looked at the CEAC arbitration rules, the CEAC arbitration rules in the last few weeks. For me, this is a very special moment, not only as Secretary General of the Chinese European Arbitration Center, but also personally. I was a participant in the Moot in 1999, when the Moot started to go to school. And today in the morning at the Generations in Arbitration conference, I had a chat with Christopher Key, who said there still is this magnificent bond between the ones who have been in one Moot.
I would like to add special thanks to Eric Bergsten, who made all that possible, to the team and to the teams who had the burden to deal with our rules and came, as we saw in the pre-moots, to quite creative solutions on some of the specifics of this year's case. So thank you very much to all of you for dealing with CEAC, dealing well on a Moot case. And I would like to invite all of you, the arbitrators of the future and the arbitrators of the present, to deal with CEAC in the real cases. Thank you very much.
For its creation, and was there also the Deputy Secretary General when John Honnold, who had been the Secretary at the time, resigned to go back to the University of Pennsylvania. Willem became the Secretary. He was the Secretary when the UNCITRAL Secretariat was moved from New York to Vienna on the completion of the Vienna International Center, or Juno City across the Danube from where we are. And so it is named after him because he was Secretary of UNCITRAL, because he was a professor at Pace. But so where does UNCITRAL come in on this? Well, first of all, the Moot was suggested at the UNCITRAL Congress on International Commercial Law, which was held in 1992 in the General Assembly Hall of the United Nations. A very impressive place to have such an event. The idea at the time was to promote primarily the CISG, the Sales Convention, that had come out of the work of UNCITRAL. It was fairly new at the time. It had come into force in 1988. This was 1992. Not that many countries were parties to it yet, although many, many more now. We used the UNCITRAL arbitration rules at the beginning, and we've always used the model law as the law of Danubia, country where Vindobona is located in the Moot scenario. Okay, so that's the connection with UNCITRAL, and Willem's picture is here for those of you who can yet see it. I bring it out once a year for this event. But I ask now the Deputy Secretary of UNCITRAL, Timothy LeMay, to give the greetings from UNCITRAL itself.
And on behalf of the Secretariat of the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, it's certainly a pleasure to welcome you all to Vienna and to this now historic 20th Willem C.Vis International Commercial Arbitration Moot. UNCITRAL is certainly privileged to have been involved with the Vis Moot, as Eric has said, ever since its beginning in the early 1990s. At that time, there were 9 teams participating, and we were able to host the event at UNCITRAL itself. And now, of course, it has grown to nearly 300 teams and become a major international event for Vienna. The Vis Moot is very important to us in many ways, not least in that it reflects and it projects the work of UNCITRAL, and in particular the UN Convention on Contracts for the International Sale of Goods, the CISG, and of course our text on arbitration. More than 700 cases from 37 states, and it was officially launched in Singapore in June of last year. The Model Law Digest, as has happened for the CISG Digest, is the result of cooperation between our Clout team, case law on UNCITRAL texts, the national correspondence, and the UNCITRAL Secretariat, and that the digest is available in English on the UNCITRAL website at no cost. As to the CISG Digest, just a quick word, the 3rd edition was also published last year, and the
when you didn't really want to be a law professor, but you wanted to be a concert pianist, and you finally get to be on the stage at the concert house, and all you see is a light, and you could be at the interrogation room of the police house, and you don't see all of the people here. It isn't as wonderful as you think from the back of the auditorium. But it is truly wonderful in my 20th year to be alongside Eric in this magic occasion. Can I quickly deal with one small logistical item that Eric knows is much easier to deal with from the stage, and then turn to the matter that is near and dear to my heart that I really wish to impress upon you. What I tell my students is that the only thing you have to do is the impossible. And when they look at me quizzically, I say, well, this man has proved that none of us 20 years ago, when there were only 11 teams, could ever have thought that there could be 300 teams on this occasion. But even Eric can't make time stand still. So when Dr. Mellis pointed out that he very kindly got the University of Vienna to give the moot the Eurydikum in the week before Easter, the first thing that Eric did was write me an email apologetically saying, Jeff, I know you're Jewish and it clashes with Passover, and I'm terribly sorry, I never would have done that, but I had no alternative. And I immediately wrote back saying, let's make a virtue of necessity. I'll run a Passover service in Vienna for anyone who comes. And Eric normally says to 3,000 people, come along. And we normally don't have a venue the day before, and we don't know how many people are coming, and we chop and cook together and have a very nice time. We lost our venue this year, so we now have to go to a catered venue, which I hope will be wonderful, but with no more shopping and cooking. But it does mean that we need to be a little bit more organised than is my natural proclivity and preference. So the MAA desk has kindly agreed to be the gateway to people who either have emailed me already or are interested in coming along to actually pre-book and pay for that event. So I ask you to look for the MAA desk, and by Sunday morning there will be details out there. That's the minor part of what I want to say to you today.
Former student participants, but most of them were. And that's the Moot Alumni Association. And for that, I call Arno Eisen, the current president of the MAA.
Alumni Association to the 20th, so the kid, as we have heard, has grown up. It's a full age. In a lot of countries it would be allowed to drink alcohol. Build new relationships, build bridges, as we have heard, and this is a very important aspect that I encourage all of you to take full opportunity of. Talking about the social events, I have a few housekeeping matters which I need to address right now, so that all of you are aware of it. We have the goulash dinner and the walking tours on Sunday. Registration online is closed. There are a few tickets still available. If you're interested, from tomorrow on, come to the Dachgeschoss, to the MAA desk, and see us there to still register. It's first come, first served for the rest of the tickets. The farewell party this year is held at a different location for all the returning visitors to the Moot. So please make sure you check out where Club Couture is located, and don't go to the Empire. It's a different location, and it's not the case that Empire has changed the name again, as has been the case before. We also run the Vis Cup, where we try to also provide a different setting. It's a football event, or soccer for the North Americans, and it's supposed to give you a different setting to meet all your fellow students, arbitrators, and everyone's invited to sign up. There's no fixed teams, not team by team, university. Everyone can come. We'll set up teams on an ad hoc basis, mix everyone together, so we have truly global teams having up. And then there are a few other things that I would like to address. As you have heard, this is a special year, the 20th year. Eric has been presented with awards already for his wonderful and great achievements that he has given to all of us with the Moot. And to add to these honorings of his achievements, there is a new book that has just been released. It's called the Danubia Files. It's a tribute to Eric, and it is actually a book which is an award writing lessons from the Vis Moot. So it's writing arbitration awards, but the twist to it is that the awards are written based on the cases of the 14th to the 19th Vis Moot. So all the wait and suffering to find out what is actually the result of the cases of those years, it's over. Do you refer to this? Copies that have already arrived, they will be available at the MAA desk. They're being sold there. We'll run out very quickly, I assume, but there's more to come, and if you sign up and order now, there'll be free shipping, I was told. So if you sign up now and order it from Vienna, you will get it delivered to your home free of any shipping charges. And finally, as is known to all of us now, the 20th year, and it's such a special year. Eric has done this for 20 years and created a global empire with the Moot. And we can only thank you, Eric. It's hard to find the appropriate words to express our gratitude. And it's also not enough if I'm just standing here and thanking you on behalf of the MAA. So we have collaborated a little representative video, which is our thank you from the MAA for your great work.
In Mexico City ever since.
I'm a participant of the third Willem C.Vis Moot.
I have been involved with the Vis Moot and the MAA since 2002, both as a student participant and as an arbitrator.
And I participated for Deakin University as a student in the 6th Moot, and a few years later I became a vice president of the MAA.
I participated in year 1999 in the Moot, and it had such a big impact on me that I became a litigation lawyer, and with time a litigation partner. That's why Eric is so important to me.
Hi Eric, this is Philip speaking. You may remember I participated in the 3rd Moot 1996 and was one of the founding members of the MAA.
Hey, this is Trevor in Hana in San Francisco. Congratulations on 20 years of the Moot, and a special congratulations to Eric the man for putting it all together.
Dear Eric, it's over 15 years now that I've participated in Vienna as a very green student. And I wanted to say again how extremely grateful I am for the experience that offered, but also for your help and assistance and your thoughts setting up the MAA.
I'm glad that I've got the chance today to express my gratitude to you. Not only did the Moot contribute to my professional career, but also in particular, it built the ground for a truly international network that I'm benefiting from today.
I am extremely thankful for the Moot, not only because all of the friends from different nationalities that I made, also because I studied a master's program in arbitration in Sweden. What can I say, the Moot?
I think the thing that was most significant was one sentence you put into the materials, and that was the sentence that says, this is not a competition, this is an education experience built around a competition.
Having witnessed Eric turn the idea of the Willem C.Vis Moot into such a great institution over the last 20 years, that has helped so many thousands of people from so many parts of the world. It's a great honor and privilege, and a treasure that I benefit from every day of my life.
For us, the Moot has a very special significance.
Trevor actually participated in the 4th Moot representing the University of the Pacific McGeorge School of Law, United States in '97, and I participated in the 8th Moot in 2001 representing the fantastic University of Freiburg, Germany. We met at the 9th Moot, have been together ever since, and have been married for 7 years this year.
And also providing and disseminating important information. Particularly, I would say, Professor Eric is important to me because he represents an embodiment of commitment to a cause he believes in. One thing I like about Professor Eric is his fatherly disposition and calm response of wisdom to issues that arise.
Eric is important to me because he is an inspiration, a mentor, and a friend.
Eric is important to me because he always understood the spirit of the Moot to be not only one of competition, but one of education, so you have the chance to find friends during the Moot which last a lifetime.
There are many things that I admire about Eric. His humility, his passion, but maybe most of all, his conviction over all the years that whatever challenge the Moot faced as it grew and grew and grew, that challenge would be overcome. He would work at it calmly and relentlessly, and I think always had a smile on his face while he did it.
Thank you, Eric, particularly for your passion and real interest in the people that participated in the Moot. Thanks again.
I thank you very much for the opportunities you gave me. I've enjoyed every year, and it has opened up the world of arbitration for me.
So we really owe a big thank you to the Moot and to Eric. Thank you so much, and we wish you only the best for the next 20 years.
Thank you very much, Eric. And as we say here in Mexico, muchísimas gracias, Eric.
Congratulations. So I say with all my heart, thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Professor Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
This will take place in the Juridicum at the Faculty of Law of the University of Vienna. It's best to enter this building from Hessgasse. This is the side of the building that is close to traffic. The other hearings take place at the law office Dora Brugger-Jordis, DLA Piper Weiss-Tesbach, and Baker McKenzie. All of those locations are in 5 minutes walking distance from the Juridicum. The first arguments begin at 8:30 tomorrow morning. It is important that all arguments begin on time. Each room is scheduled for 2 hours, and it is important to keep to the time schedule. The teams and the arbitrators who have arguments at the time should arrive between 8 and 8:15. Neither the Dachgeschoss, this is the top floor where the main meeting area is at the Juridicum, nor the offices at the law firms are open before 8 o'clock. The schedule of arguments for each day will be posted that morning. It is posted at the entrance doors of the Dachgeschoss, so this is the first German word you will learn here, it's top floor, Dachgeschoss. There is also the administration desk. Their registration takes place at the Dachgeschoss, and you find the name badges there. Teams that are not arguing at 8 or 30 in the morning can sleep longer. They should not come in that period immediately because we have over 2,000 participants. So they have the full day to do the registration. And it's a hectic time at the first morning. We ask the teams, and I would like to raise your attention to one rule that really must be obeyed. And the teams may not hear hearings of teams they are scheduled against. So the teams are invited to welcome to come and watch arguments, but not those of teams against which they are scheduled to argue. We have the first 4 days, we have the hearings, and on Tuesday at 5:30 we start the announcement of the final teams. After that, at 8 o'clock already in the evening, the first round of 64 starts at the Juridicum. The second round of the teams of 64 is then on the next morning, Wednesday at 8. We have organized an arbitrators evening on Sunday night. Arbitrators, professors and coaches are welcome, and tickets are available for purchase already tonight. We have a desk on the landing of the stairs if you go down, and they will also be available at the administration desk and at the law offices. Many teams still owe us various sums. Most of them relate to the payment of the registration fee. Yes. Either it has not paid as yet, or the payment was not the full Euro 700 because of the bank transfer fees. You were all notified of those amounts. It should be also paid at the administration desk in the Dachgeschoss. You know now what I mean. The award banquet tickets for the teams will be given out on Monday from 11 o'clock on. Teams should pick them up Monday or Tuesday, at the latest on Tuesday. We have reserved a limited number of seats, also because we have a caterer there for the banquet, and we have to name then the numbers of participants. So please make sure that you tell us at the latest on Tuesday if you will attend the banquet or not. We will also give out on Monday, with the invitations for the banquet, the certificates for the team participants. If you do not pick up the certificates, they may not be sent to you, so please make sure to pick them up. The arbitrators can have the banquet tickets already from Saturday on. We'll ask the arbitrators for a fee of €20 for the awards banquet tickets. The arbitrators, I would ask if they are willing to take over further hearings, because we have a number of slots that need to be filled. Chris Key will be here after the opening, and he will await you and hopes that many arbitrators will approach him to say they're willing to take replacements. It happened in the last years that arbitrators didn't show up without telling us to hearings. There has been a strong message sent to arbitrators that they must appear and be on time. We usually schedule replacement arbitrators, but if you're willing to step in for arbitrators who didn't notify us in advance, tell the administration team at the law office or at the Dachgeschoss that you would be willing to step in if somebody doesn't show up. We would know 5 minutes past the hearing should have started. We have one team that withdrew the participation recently. This is the university team from Istanbul Commerce University. The teams have been notified, but we are not sure if they have received the message. in time. So please, teams that are scheduled against the university team from Istanbul Commerce should show up now after the speeches here to talk to Professor Key. I think that's it.
They've all been working hard this past year. They've gotten a taste of what the administration of this moot is like. Patrizia is known for a long time because she's been doing this. Well, we won't say how long. But since she was in, well, American terminology, high school, secondary school. And, but they will be the people who will be running the moot, starting with next year's moot. I know them all. They've all been associated with the moot for a long time, and they'll do a good job. You'll see them around, get to know them, and I look forward to, well, I don't know if it's the next 20 years that I can look forward to, but anyway, to the successful continuation of what we've been doing so far. Thank you. Who I'm sure teaches as well as these things.
Oh, when I was a little boy, my daddy said to me, if you want great riches, son, it's a merchant you should be. You can deal in goods from cars to car and earn more than enough. But don't buy or sell cross-border, son, cause that's awfully risky stuff. We didn't have no CISG. If we bought or sold in another state, we didn't know what the law would be. But now there's a convention to make it below the trade more free, except them doggone U.S. courts just treat it like the UCC. As a young man, I took up Miles' word, my daddy said. I became a merchant, traded goods to earn my bread. But I would not buy or sell beyond the borders of my state. Cause if the deal was not domestic, none could tell my legal fate. We didn't have no CISG. We were clueless how the law would work if we dealt internationally. But now when I buy under this treaty, I know the exact size of my bill, unless the Belgian court decides I ought to pay an extra $500,000. But now there is a treaty when I buy or sell a farm. I can deal with folks from everywhere, from Arles to Zanzibar. And the goods I buy, why, they're always fine, and my buyers, they never sue. I hardly need a lawyer, yes, my life's perfection true. Because we have that CISG. There's no risk in international sales, far as the eye can see. But I just received a shipment, so I must quickly say goodbye. Because German courts and the Austrians too gave me just 5 minutes to inspect and notify. And others. Last year, I am proud to say, I wrote and performed an opera about the problem. It was a 2-minute, 45-second opera. I think the consensus was 2 minutes and 45 seconds too long. Well, when I approach the problem, because I have to write a song, I think I approach it rather differently than you, because you're looking for the legal issues, and I'm looking for, you know, the lyrical side of the problem. The melodic aspects. I'm looking for something in the problem on which to base a fun, lighthearted song with, I hope, a few tasteful laughs. This year, what do I get? Child labor. Thanks, Eric. I would stay well away from the child labor aspects of the problem. But if his problems are wonderful, they're full of rich detail. I've always been able to find something in the problem on which to base a song, and this year was no different. In fact, I think it was only the second time through the problem that I saw it. It was in fact quite obvious, right there in the surface. Hiding in plain sight, as they say. The oldest story in the world and one that has inspired literally countless songs, right there in the problem. I refer, of course, to the tale of love gained and then love lost. Yes, of course, in the problem, it's told as a parable of 21st century global commerce, but it's really the same old story. And as soon as I saw that, I was inspired to write a mournful ballad of lost love that I have entitled The Tragedy of the Tardy Textile. I wish to perform it. I do want to mention that I am particularly proud of the ending of the song. It's been said that opposites attract. We are drawn to those unlike us, to those who have that which we lack. And so it was written in the stars. It was destiny all along that they would get together, Mr. Short and Mr. Long. Mr. Long, tall and lanky, and Mr. Short, squat but strong, drawn to each other like doomed sailors, lured by the siren's song. For Short had what Long most wanted, polo shirts with well-made collars, and Long possessed what Short desired, 550,000 US dollars. And so they formed a contract. It's a tale as old as time, and everything seemed rosy. They thought the sun would always shine, and they put their agreement in writing. So you would have thought that Article 96 Declaration by Mediterranean would be irrelevant. But no. However, that's another story. Back to Short and Long, let's go. But not every couple makes it, as the chronicles of mankind displayeth. Ask Menelaus and Helen of Troy, or the first 5 wives of Henry VIII. And what happened next to our duo, to Messrs. Long and Short, put an end to their alliance and landed them in court. course, it really landed them in arbitration. Yes, I know, what I just said about court was wrong. But you see, arbitration, unlike court, does not rhyme with short or long. But again, I digress. So let us return to our star-crossed businessmen and to the events that brought their relationship to a bitter end. Short's company delivered late, and Long got angry because, although it may sound silly, it was a matter of some consequence for Long's corporate affiliate. And Long said something ambiguous. Well, that Short misunderstood. And soon they were calling in the lawyers, and you know that's never good. And now the couple has split up. Short departed, he's long gone. Not even SEAC rules can bring him back to discuss what happened with him and Long. One would hope they could settle their differences, but alas, no compromise has come. I'm afraid between Short and Long, there's just no happy medium. Well, notice I'm still strumming the guitar. It's because I haven't yet done that ending I'm so proud of. You know, I think I forgot to mention that musically the ending is completely inappropriate. Indeed, there's just about every level the ending makes no sense whatsoever. So here goes. Badly in the Vienna concert. Well, it's time for me to get off the stage, allow the opening ceremonies to come to a close. We can all get to the reception, have some fun, relax a little bit. But I do have one more song I wish to perform for you. It's a song about the mood itself, and as I note every year, if I don't do it now, when the heck will I ever do it? It's a song about this great, amazing, wonderful educational event that Eric has created and nurtured. You know, I happen to think that the reason the Moot has been such a success is a combination of two things. One is Eric with his passion and his genius, I gotta say, administrative and many other levels. And the other thing that drives the Moot is the amazing passion and energy and talents of you, the students involved in the Moot, the Mooties, as you certainly know you're called. It is your passion and energy that makes everything possible, but I know being a Mootie is a rather all-consuming activity. It tends to crowd out other aspects of your life. In particular, it does seem to me it kind of makes it rough on your social life. This is a song about that aspect of the Moot, the toll it takes in your social life. It's called The Moody Blues. Well, I'm a this moody baby. I work that problem day and night. Yes, I am. I'm a this moody baby. Writing memos till dog's life. Well, I don't ever take no break. The Moot gave my social life the blight. 'Cause I'm a this moody baby. I can argue orally. Yes, I can. I'm a this moody baby. Got a response for every inquiry. Just do not ask me about my love life, 'cause the Moot took that away from me. Well, I studied up on substance, CISG coming out my ears. And I turn to procedure, arbitration rules, men ready to tears. Now I'm fed up, say witness statement, and my response will not be gentle. And if you even mention grounds for avoidance, I'll tear you a new breach, that's fundamental. Cause I'm a mystery, baby. I know the rules for a sale. My new next of kin is Eric Bergston, and Us Club is where they send my mail. Well, you're a mystery, baby. You're in the library till it's closed. Yes, you are. You're a mystery, baby. That problem's got you engrossed. The only time you get high is when you climb up to the dump your shoes. And when you got to Vienna, you found booties everywhere. They were all bright and good looking, fancy clothes and nice hair. And cause you hadn't had a date since stars were shown in the night above, that's when you realize that you're in the mood for love. Cause you're a mystery, baby. You just move till you're blind. Well, your team it may advance, but your love life has been left behind. Well, we're all Vesmoodies, baby. Please sing this with me. We're all Vesmoodies, baby. Come hear what we say. We're all Vesmoodies, baby. Oh, that's mighty pretty. We're all Vesmoodies, baby. V-I-S all the way. Our personality's taking a beating, and our love life is as dead as a nail. Our new next of kin is Eric Bergston, and Us Club is where they send our mail.
Possibility of a second career as a popular singer of international commercial law subjects.
Of women. Yes. At the beginning, I would say not even a quarter.
I think art at our university is more, I think more than 50%. I didn't know the exact numbers, but
it's 51, 52.
On our teams, we've had more women over half as the best players. This is the first really that we try to mix it just to balance it. We don't put much